This episode will hit you where you live. We begin with a young man wearing a loincloth and an outrigger canoe, parking his boat on a beach, doing some quiet chanting with a little doll-like figure. Then he stretches out to sleep. Next morning, we won't find out exactly what Shunda means, but eventually the basic idea will become clear. Whatever it means, it has something to do with planes, I guess. The show uses a lot of popular music, and they're all covers. Mostly bad covers like this one. Too often, the music sounds like 10-cent beer night at the karaoke bar. We saw him put that National Geographic cover there where he laid down to sleep. It's obviously important to him, but that guy doesn't care.
First of all, you guys shouldn't have sedated him like this. Second of all, he belongs somewhere else. Like the anthropology department at the university, but not here. I mean, look at this guy. He's a primitive.
Hayes, do you know what this is?
Yeah, business card.
It's a business card.
Oh, nice.
This is an embossed business card, to be exact.
Great, it's all set.
All right, can we take him right now?
Just want to
no
go through this.
problem.
All right, well, let's roll. Come on.
This is doctors.
As usual, Dick wants to talk budgets and Billy isn't listening. Dick is your basic mouse. He may wear the title of boss, but he's not sure what to do with it.
Where is that hideous noise coming from?
Des Moines. He picks up a rockabilly station from Shreveport at night.
Looks like bridge work with a taste for hard rock.
Sunshine of Your Love is not rockabilly, nor is it hard rock, nor is that Sunshine of Your Love. Remember what I said about bad covers? Yeah, there you go. I have a feeling the low-budget music may have contributed to the show's lack of success. Spend the money, buy the licenses. Don't settle for this.
I'm still speaking, Hayes. Where are you going?
Lunch.
Here's a big problem with this show. We're in a very intense moment trying to sort out this primitive guy. But we get all jammed up with stuff like this that's done for comedic effect, and the main storyline gets lost.
Do you believe it's true?
So, Dr. Walder, how do you think he's doing?
Hey, I'm a little concerned, you guys. I don't think the sedative those guys gave him did much for his temperament.
Can you blame him? They stick him with something sharp and he goes to sleep and wakes up wherever here is. It's a jungle habitat enclosure that the university maintains for study. The head of the anthropology department decided he'll be safest and happiest here.
Are you trying to tell me that this little guy just sailed 6,000 miles just to do a little surfing on Venice Beach?
It's almost 8,000, and it's definitely not to go surfing. Whatever he's here for has something to do with that totem in his hand.
I mean, he sure looks happy, doesn't he? Nobody can get close to him. He seems to be from a tribe that's never had any interaction with the outside world, and even though she is more or less determined that he's from somewhere in the Philippines, he doesn't speak any of the tribal languages that she's familiar with, and he doesn't trust anybody. When you try to get close to him, he gets agitated and starts threatening to fight. Dr. Walter, though, would really like to communicate with him, but she has no idea how.
You mind if we try?
I'd like that. Just keep your distance. I don't want you getting hurt.
Okay, Billy?
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
The tone in her voice. She likes you.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, take away the fact that she's smart, successful, and beautiful, and what's left? This is our subplot for today. Billy will keep prodding Elle to ask her to some big dance that's coming up. The dance must not have been much of a hit because after this episode, we'll never see her again. They won't get anywhere with the young man whom they've taken to calling Link, as in missing Link. If he understood it, I have a feeling he'd take exception to that, too. Nothing is working. This is a job for Johnny B.
It's working. He's tapping his toes.
Even with a terrible version like that, how can you not tap your toes to Land of a Thousand Dances? For that matter, how can you not dance?
Twisted leg. Billy does a yo-yo. Watch it go.
He knows whom he can trust now, and he'll depend on Johnny a lot.
It's all right, Link. It's okay.
Looks like he's finally found a friend.
Yeah, sure, after I broke the ice.
Right.
He's still not sure about Billy, and Billy is quite jealous.
Eat it, it's good. That's one way to handle the grease.
You know, I could have given him the burger if I wanted to. I mean, it's not like it's a personal thing or anything between us, you know?
Yes, it is. Face it, the guy knows who's cool and who's not.
It's a running gag.
Yeah.
That's Kia.
Yeah. Shunda.
What's he saying? What is it?
It's the totem, something about the sky.
Whatever it all means, it's important enough to him that he risked everything to come here and cue a shunda.
That's fine. But where's Shunda?
That's why we want to set him free.
Do you have any idea of the risk you'll be taking?
The man is a primitive. We want to keep him that way. Exposing him to any outside influences could ruin
Our studies.
Yeah, note he says we want to keep him that way. Doesn't matter what he wants, this is science. It's not like he's an actual human being with rights and all that crazy stuff.
the dean and the alumni committee, frankly, have been on my back about the chances you've been taking.
The guy paddled 7,000 miles.
8,000.
8,000 miles. You're talking about taking chances here?
What if he gets away?
We won't take our eyes off him. I give you my word.
It's not your word I want.
You got it.
They consider her a rogue who keeps losing her scientific control, whatever that nonsense phrase is supposed to mean. What it means is she values people over data. That's unacceptable.
All right, but look, keep an eye out for this triangle. I mean, he's not writing him on the napkin for nothing, you know?
Shunda!
Oh, no. What the hell do you think you're doing?
They can't see the jacket he's looking at, and in the chaos that follows, he'll slip away from them and somehow hop a bus to Hollywood.
Well, I bet you I'm gonna be a big star. Might win an Oscar, you can never tell.
Thank you so much. If you ever interview, please stop and sing.
Don't try to figure out who she thinks he is. There are much better things to do with your time. He has no idea what to do with that thing she gave him. It's not good to eat, and it doesn't seem to serve any other purpose, but he'll hang on to it just in case. If nothing else, it's a souvenir of the crazy people he saw on the other side of the world. He can dazzle his friends with it when he gets back home. While this awful cover song plays, we'll watch him discover Hollywood, rollerblades, and car washes. It's filler. And I repeat, spend the money for the original music. Or if you simply must use covers, find a guy who can actually sing that song. Someone saw a guy fitting Link's description get on the bus, so now the gang is searching Hollywood. Billy is still playing matchmaker. He has Dr. Walker and Elle drive to the courthouse to pick up Jane while he and the others start looking. Jane will call in a favor, so she, Deanna, and Elle are in a police car with a friend of hers. Glow and Johnny are searching on foot.
I got some honeysuckle chocolate chip and kisses
Like I
for
really
you,
need this
baby.
now.
Oh! Hey, man, listen here. I got some stuff for you, make you feel real good.
Not interested.
Oh, hey, the lady then. Oh, man, I get this stuff for you. You take it, it'll do things to you ain't never been done before. Oh, better yet, you set me up with something what you got.
You couldn't handle it, dude.
Shunda! Shunda!
Hey, get out of there! Get out of the window! What are you doing there? Somebody get him out of there!
He's been drawing triangles and trying to explain what Shunda is, but the gang can't figure it out. We'll have a police chase, and Link will end up dropping the model and breaking it before anyone realizes what it is.
We're taking over now.
Hey,
He's
come
out of
back.
your hands. And you tell Deanna she's off this project. Come here, son. Easy, 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 easy. Come on. Easy.
I'm glad I'm about the same age he is, because that means I could deck him without feeling guilty. Link is back in the habitat enclosure, and Dr. Comac is beyond furious.
What we want is to give him a chance to show us why he's here.
Maybe he just wants to go window shopping. Have you seen
Not to
these
mention the
bills?
involvement with the police and
$2,600.
the press.
$2,600 in one
You've managed to
catalog.
run a perfectly good scientific investigation into a media circus.
$69, a crystal chronometer.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Could you spare us your fiscal reports?
I just thought.
Well, don't think.
Excuse me? This guy's arrogance is off the charts. He's a university professor. He has no more legal standing over Link than anybody else does, but he seems to think he's the emperor. Alan Rich had one of those faces that makes you say, I know that guy. I saw him in that other show. You know the one. And you'd probably be right. He was a popular character actor who didn't lack for work his entire career. Well, that's not entirely accurate. Like a lot of actors, he got blacklisted during the McCarthy era and became a stockbroker for a while to keep body and soul together. He was very successful and branched out into dealing fine art. When he returned to acting, he did so with a vengeance. After lots of great years acting, he switched to teaching and more or less lived happily after ever. Or ever after, take your pick. We finally lost him in 2020 at the age of 94.
Now, this is what I want. I want the primitive to remain in his habitat, and for us to study him in a safe, scientific way. And come hell or high water, that's the way it's going to be!
Yeah, the goal isn't to find out what he wants and help him attain it, even though he made an impossible journey that none of them could have survived. The goal is to study him and write a prominent research paper about him and get prestige and grants for Comac and the university, and who cares what Link wants? He's just a primitive anyway. It's not like he has a brain or feelings. When I got my degrees, my goal was to teach in a place like this. I'm really glad that didn't pan out, because before too long I realized I'd be dealing with people like this all the time, and I'd probably end up in prison. Looking back, I'm really glad I fell off the academic ladder when I did.
Remember the one we did last night? There she goes, just walking down the street, singing do-a-diddy-diddy-dum diddy-do. Come on, that was your favorite. She looks good.
Someone really needs to get Johnny some lyric sheets for these songs. Link isn't interested. He's completely closed up. You gotta hope Comac is happy. The others have come to visit Link, and he's meeting Jane for the first time.
Yeah. So he names that doll he's got. Kia. Link, Kia, what's Kia?
Look at how he's behaving. Kiwa means child, you twit.
I know, but what?
Something related to a child has him in absolute anguish. He'll play some charades to tell the story.
Kiwa. 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 Kiwa.
Okay. Kiwa.
He's working. Little Kiwa wants to play, but he's too busy.
Kiwa. Kiwa.
He searches frantically, but Kiwa is gone. His baby drowned, and apparently they never found the body. If you have a child that you love, this story will rip your heart out. It's already ripping the Misfits' hearts out. even Johnny. Some intense digging in the library fills in the rest of it.
It says here, although it is unusual for the prehistoric tribes of the Philippines to make totems, they sometimes carve figures representing the souls of dead relatives.
Oh, that would explain why his doll is so precious to him. If it's his child's soul.
Glow says after he drew the triangle, he put the doll on it and lifted it into the air.
If the boy drowned,
Then they weren't able to cremate the remains.
So instead of the smoke lifting Kia's soul into heaven,
he needs us to help him do it. But with what?
That's where Shunda comes in. Link is trying to explain it.
What is that, Link? Is there some sort of bird or something?
How many birds do you know of that make that noise? Listen to him, Billy. He's describing a jet or a rocket. He doesn't know what they are. He just knows they can do what he needs to get his child's soul to the next life. Johnny says maybe a magic bird? Suddenly it clicks in Billy's head. He wants to put the doll on the space shuttle and have it take his child to heaven or whatever his people believe in. Now they know what they have to do, but there's one big obstacle.
Forget it.
This guy paddled halfway across the world for the sake of his child's soul. And you're saying you're going to stop him from fulfilling...
I'm saying he's staying right here in the safety of the habitat. And that's that.
There are all kinds of safety, Professor. You're talking about the physical kind. But if you refuse to let him fulfill his purpose, you're going to destroy his mental state. That's not keeping him safe. And besides, we already know that you're doing this for you, not for him.
Isn't there something you can do,
Billy, if it were up to me, 8,000 miles is a long
Can you
way.
butt out now just a minute? He's not leaving, and that's the end of it.
I don't know what makes him think it's okay to talk to Stetmeyer like that. And I repeat, he has zero legal claim over Link. He's just throwing his weight around and hoping everyone goes with it.
Wrong. No, look, Link has traveled a long, long way, and if he needs a little help to make it the last few feet, he can count on me.
On us.
Guess what? Everyone isn't going with it.
I'm calling the police.
I don't think so.
We finally found Dick Stetmeyer's spine. Who knew it was in Professor Comac's office? Even he can only take so much abuse, and this guy has been asking for it. Next thing we know, the Misfits are taking Link out of there and heading for Andrews Air Force Base. Dick will stay behind and guard the professor.
I'm terribly sorry about this, but they're right. If I'd traveled across the ocean in a handmade canoe for the sake of my dead child, I think even I would resent being locked up in some monkey house.
I doubt the professor will be much trouble. Now let's go put Link's child on that shuttle.
Now don't for 1 minute think this is company policy. I'm on my own time here.
Thanks, Dad.
Just don't get out of here.
Did you catch the very end of that? When nobody's looking, Dick has a little panic attack and is asking himself, what did I do? I love it. Nice to know his spine isn't completely solid. Step 1 is disguise Link to look like a tourist and exit the habitat, then get to the ice cream truck.
This time for sure. Oh,
That's it?
Deanna, there's something I want to ask.
We did it?
About this weekend.
We did it!
Are you busy Saturday night?
That's not how you ask, Hal. I don't mean the shrinking. I mean that's not how you ask a woman out. Are you busy Saturday night, or what are you doing Saturday night? Puts her on the spot. If she's not busy, then presumably she has no reason not to go out with you. But if she doesn't want to, she has no good way to tell you. This is not original with me. I'm passing it along. Ladies, if a guy asks you one of these questions, the best answer you can give is none of your business. Guys, if you ask her one of these questions and she gives you that answer, realize you blew it, apologize, and try again.
Oh, good afternoon, Major. This is Richard Stetmeyer from Humanidyne. We did some work for you last year.
We worked on the tracking system you set up, and I know it didn't quite function the way we had planned, but with...
Whoa, hold your breath. Maybe you are who you say you are, and maybe you aren't.
He thinks it's the press. There's an easy way to verify who he is. Get his number and call him back. That's SOP in a situation like this. Too bad the Major slept through that course.
Look, they're very dangerous. They could be a threat to our security.
Don't you understand? They're not dangerous. Except to me.
Well, you just better pray they don't crack the perimeter of this base. My orders are to shoot to kill.
How exactly are they dangerous to the mission? Dick explained what they're doing, but this guy has a manual for a brain. Billy can't reason with the guards at the gate, so he buys a manila envelope and addresses it to Major Logger.
It'll work.
Not now, okay? Maybe later.
Billy gives the envelope to one of the guards, and L is in. Once he returns to normal size, he can talk to the Major and sort all this out.
Come here. Listen.
Later this week has not been determined.
When Dick heard the words shoot to kill, he panicked. He released the professor, and together they called out the highway patrol. There's an APB out for the Misfits of Science. Time to roll.
Let's go, Hayes. Maybe I didn't go over this part of the plan too well. You guys are supposed to...
in!
The only problem is nobody thought to make sure Link is in the truck, which he isn't. He's headed for Shunda. We watch a car chase between the cop car and the truck while that bad cover plays.
All right, look, we're going to make it to the shuttle, and Link's going to put his little statue thing on board, and we're going to satisfy a human being's consuming desire. Isn't that right, Link? Link!
Uh-oh.
It won't take long to spot him. Now the question is how to get to him. Okay, that has possibilities. Not good possibilities, but possibilities.
What the? Don't shoot! They're the Misfits of Science!
Soon a bunch more vehicles are headed for the shuttle with the Major and L on board. Somehow they found a uniform that fits L, or close enough.
Hold your fire!
The Major says you're all under arrest and you are in big trouble, and you're lucky that's all I'm doing. Remember how Stetmeyer reached his breaking point? Billy just reached his.
How about that, Link? You know, you finally made it to the land of freedom, and this guy's got another cage for you.
You just keep on talking, smart guy.
Hayes.
No, I've had up to here with these guys. What are you going to do, Log? Are you going to shoot us? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to shoot us? Well, then do it. Get it over with.
You have a handful of unarmed people, including a pregnant woman and a stranger in a loincloth, and you've brought out all that firepower. Do you have any idea how ridiculous that is?
Logger, do you have any idea who this guy is? Do you have a clue what this man's done? This little man just came across 8,000 miles of ocean and a few hundred yards of desert just to put that little doll of his on his shuttle. Logger, he brought the soul of his dead little boy halfway across the world just to send it up on your precious top-secret shuttle. Damn it! That's exactly what he's going to do.
He says, we've beaten you military guys before, and if necessary, we can do it again. But why?
We're going to help Link put that carving on that shuttle. With you or without you.
Do I even have to say what the Major decides? Kiwa Shunda. If that didn't stretch your heartstrings to the limit, you may want to see a doctor to be sure you have any. And then to cap it off, we do this.
Shuttle Discovery launched its top-secret military payload into outer space today, which ANC News learned to be 3 Star Wars test satellites and this odd primitive carving of a man. The Pentagon isn't talking, but the Soviets immediately criticized the U.S. for using outer space voodoo to gain an edge in the Star Wars.
For starters, when it was on the ground, they said it was the Columbia, not the Discovery. But outer space voodoo, we have this beautiful story about a father who will do anything for the soul of his child, and then we make a joke out of it. But that points up one of the biggest flaws in this show. Is this a drama or a comedy? It's trying to be about 50-50, and it doesn't work. If you're doing a drama, you want to use the comedy relief sparingly, or it loses its effectiveness. If you're doing a comedy, you want to do the same thing with the dramatic moments. This show flings us back and forth between the two like a bad carnival ride, and it gets really uncomfortable. If you want to make a show like this, fine. I really like the cast and the stories, but decide where you're going with the show before you start filming. I get the impression we're just feeling our way along, trying to sort out what niche this show should go in. The problem is they never really found it and the show failed, and it's to be expected. As the book title once said, if you don't know where you're going, you'll probably end up somewhere else. Storyline get lost. The big story that get lost. Max! And wakes up wherever. I can say that word. He suspects it's the after this episode, because after this episode, we'll never see. Good.